Good afternoon, everyone, and once again, welcome to lab session of AJP. I guess after the faculty change, this is our second lab. Yes or no? Right? And as per your statement and as per the information which I have received from Ankita ma'am, we have Ankita ma'am has covered practical set 1, which was Java networking, and practical set 2, JDBC programming. Yes or no? Yes or no? Right? And now we are last lab we started our discussion with Servlet. Do we started it? Do we started it? Do we started the Servlet? Kindly acknowledge. Do we started the Servlet? Guys, I think in 7 different labs.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Have you implemented the programs? I guess we would have done practical 1, 2, 3, and the context config 8th one. Yes or no? Are we done with that? Can you tell me which all we did so that I can move forward with the fresh content? Okay, only 1, 2, and 3 we are done with. Okay, no problem. No problem. Are you people done with it? Are you having any technical query in practical number 1, which is tasting servlet and deployment descriptor? Practical number 2, tasting include action for servlet collaboration, and practical number 3, tasting forward action for servlet collaboration. Anyone having any doubt or query in this? Yes or no? Okay, Manan is saying no. Tejas is also saying no. Okay, fine. So, okay, Utsav is also saying no. Then fine. We'll move ahead, and today we will discuss practical number 7 and 8. Okay, 7 and 8. So let us start first with servlet context. Let us understand what the problem definition says. Is my screen visible? Right? We are working upon the practical number 8, which says, write down the program for tasting servlet context interface. Now, what is servlet context? What is servlet context? What is servlet context? I hope you are done in the theory. Are you done in the theory with this topic? Yes or no? Guys, if I'll not know that whether you have learned or not, how will I know how at what depth I have to receive? I have to deliver. Have you done servlet context and config? Okay, no problem. So there are two interfaces which are given in Java X.servlet package. One is servlet config and one is servlet context interface. Now these two, we will use the object of servlet config and servlet context to get the information regarding the configuration parameter from web.xml. Usually, web.xml is holding the configuration parameter or the configuration related variables. And if we want to access it, we can go with the servlet context and config interface. Fine. Now, servlet config interface is used to access the configuration information which is for single servlet. Okay. which is for single servlet. And servlet context, object of servlet context will be used when we want to go for the whole application level configuration parameter. So servlet context will also read the configuration parameter, but there are two types of configuration parameters which we are writing inside the web.xml. We call it as a context param and init param. So context param is there when you want to access variables which are related to entire web application, the whole web application. Fine. And context config will be used when we are going to refer the objects or parameter which are subject specific, okay. Okay, are you getting the difference, everyone? Are you getting the difference? Should I move forward? Guys, keep on interacting. Otherwise, yeah, I'll not get whether you are understanding it or not. Okay, fine. So let us see first what I'm talking about. So here is the project. As we are working with the servlet, we'll work with the Java application. Okay. Now, to understand the concept of servlet context and config, we are going with the index.html, where I have created two hyperlink. Ahref is equal to servlet1, click for servlet1. Ahref is equal to servlet2, click for servlet2. When user will click here, user will be redirected to servlet. And we can create the servlet as we discussed in the last lab by right clicking on the source package. Fine. And you can go with the new servlet. Okay, give next, and you can click on add information. Now you can click on initialization parameter. This will create the init parameter. Click on new. You can give variable name. Suppose the variable name which I want to give is the programmer, right? This is just a variable name. And value, let us say a value is the one who has developed this code, so I am giving my name, and I'll click on finish. Now when I do this, the servlet will be created. Along with that, in web.xml, which is there in your web pages web.inf folder, you can see servlet tag with the init parameter, right? With the init parameter. I'm saying that this we can access with the help of servlet config interface, right? That's what we were discussing in the slide. We say itself servlet config refers to the single servlet, right? We can access it. Okay. So here is the servlet config. Okay. Now it means that per servlet, we can have the single servlet related parameter we can mention inside the web.xml using init param tag. Okay. So you can see here, this is my web.xml. In this application, I created 4 servlets. So I will have 4 servlet tag and 4 servlet mapping tag. Okay. And one which is servlet config, session config tag. If you look at here, this is my servlet 1, and there inside that I have not mentioned any init param. It means that for servlet 1 there is no initialization parameter. But if you look at here, this is my servlet 2, In that I have written init param, right? So we have to write the init param inside servlet slash servlet. Okay, if it is exist in servlet 1, it is not there. So this is applicable when I say init param and I have written it inside servlet 2. So this variable, this init param, the parameter name is programmer. So the variable programmer is available inside servlet 2 only, nowhere else. Only through servlet 2 we can access it. And for that you have to use servlet config object. Okay. The way init parameter is applicable for single servlet, sometime we need the parameters which will be applicable to entire application. So if you look at the web.xml, this is a web.xml first line which specifies the document type, and this is the root tag. Okay, this is the root tag. So you can click here and you can see this is your context param. Okay, in context param we are specifying the variable. Let us say I have taken the param name organization and I gave the value param value Marwadi info tag. So this context param I have to write inside the root tag of web.xml, which is your web app, right? And if I want to access this, I will use context parameter object, servlet context object. Okay, and context parameter is available for whole application. So it means that all these 4 servlets can access that variable and its value. Okay, the scope of the servlet context is entire web application. So look at here, I have my servlet 1, and in that I have included javax.servlet.servletconfig and javax.servlet.servletcontext. I'll be accessing these two. I will be using this to access the init param and context param. So you can see this, as I said, servlet config. I created the object config is equal to get servlet config, and we know that the parameter which is named as programmer, we have saved it as an init parameter. So I can get its value by the method get init parameter, right? So servlet config is an interface having the method get init parameter. This is used to read the web.xml. So for the servlet 1, we are reading the parameter programmer. And whatever is being returned, we are typecasting it to the string value and we are giving in a local variable. And I'm trying to print it. This page is developed by developer. Okay. Now we said context parameter, which is outside the servlet tag and inside the web app tag, it's a global parameter available in all the servlets. So it is also having the method getInit parameter, but it can be accessed using the servlet context object. So we're writing servlet context, created an object, context is equal to get servlet context, and we said context dot get parameter and specify the param name. It will return you the parameter value. We typecasted it to string and given a local variable developed at. And finally, we are printing out.println. This page is developed at, we said Marwadi Infotech, right? Right? So the same code I'm writing in servlet 2 also, right? We're trying to read the variable, so there's no change. We are writing it for both the servlets. Same code. Okay? Okay? Now, if I run this, it will give me the index.html. And we know that for servlet 1, there is no init param. That's why it's giving us null. You can check in the web.xml. Servlet 1, there is no init parameter. Whereas in servlet 2, initialization parameters are there. Okay? Fine? right? So if I run it for second servlet, you can see this is the programmer variable coming from web.xml. And Marwadi Infotech is context parameter. So that's why it is available in both the servlet. This is servlet 2, this is servlet 1. Can you see this context param? Okay, here servlet 1 is not having init parameter. That's why it is null. Fine. Are you clear? You see servlet 1, no init parameter. Servlet 2, it is having init parameter, so it displayed there. And context parameter is applicable in all the servlets. So servlet 1 and 2 both are able to access the value of the context parameter organization. Fine. Is it clear, everyone? Any doubt, any query? Anyone? If you have any doubt or query, you can ask the question. Are you clear? Should I move forward? Okay. Okay. I got so many replies in the chat. That's good. Okay. So this was your practical number 8, and now we are moving forward with the next practical. The next practical which we are going to work upon is the filter program. So can anyone tell me what is filter? Are you done in the theory with the filter? As I am not taking your theory, so it's hard for me to know whether you are done or not. Are you done with the filter in the theory? Yes or no? We are working upon this program. Can anyone tell me, are we done with the filter? Reddy sir, PC Reddy sir has done the discussion regarding the filters? Or you don't know? Guys, kindly acknowledge. Are you done with the filters or not? Hello everyone, am I audible? Say yes or no. Am I audible? You reached up to cookies. Okay. Then filter would have been done because filter is before cookies. Yes or no? Anyways, let me quickly give you a quick review of filters. Now, filters are the objects which are used for pre-processing and post-processing. Look at the diagram. If you have a servlet and if user sends a request to servlet, before making your servlet requests pass through or to reach to the servlet, at times we want to do some coding, right? So which is called pre-processing, right? Before the servlet, you just do it. So that is pre-processing. So there are some logic to be done for the processing the request. For example, we know that when we have an image, right, from the client side, we compress it and we send it through the network. And when it reaches to the server, at times it is again decompressed. Similar way for the sensitive information such as the password and all, what we do is we have to go with the encryption technique to change the passwords the way it looks, right? So for such things we have filters, We call filters are pluggable because easily you can define their entries inside deployment descriptor. And when it is not needed from the deployment descriptor, it means your web.xml, you can remove those tags and it will be just removed from your application. So it is very easy to add and remove the filters, and that's why we say it is pluggable. Okay, the major task which could be done with the filters are: we can record all incoming requests, we can keep the log of the IP address of the computers from which the requests are originating, conversions if we required to change the language or something, data compression, encryption, decryption, and at times input validation, right? And major advantage is we want to achieve the less maintenance, right? And we do not have any dependency on the any other resources because filters are done independently. Very simple example of filter which I want to give, which I gave usually in the theory lecture is: suppose you are doing some shopping. Okay, when you do some shopping, right, and you click on the product, I guess this is maintaining my identity, right? And you just click on the payment, right? You just want to pay for this. At that time, what happens is when you place the order, see, it is asking me the sign in. So when I sign in, right, or sometime it is giving me go with Google. So this is filter. Before I place the order, before I process the order, suppose I want to order this. So before adding the address, it is asking me to log in. It is asking me the login. It wants to check the genuinity of the user, which called the authentication, user authentication. Fine. So user authentication can be done with the help of the authentication filter, right? So what we can do is when I'm clicking on Google, you can see this is the third party. Can you see the URL? It is google.com, accounts.google.com, right? So what does it mean? This is something called pluggable filters. Okay, this is called pluggable filters. So we can use the filters in our Java code also. So how to go with that? Let us discuss. So here we are going to implement the authentication filter. So before going to the code, let me make you understand what we are going to develop. So I'll be asking user, this is index.html. This is index.html, and I'm asking user to enter the username and password. And suppose user enters the username and password, right? And when user click on login, usually it goes to dashboard, which says uh, welcomes admin, right? So I want that this is my admin servlet. I want that the before this the login should be checked, and when we want that login should be checked, at that time what we need to do is we need to add a filter. Before sending this, we need to check whether the password is okay or not. If password is wrong, then we will send it to somewhere else for re-login. And if the password is right, if password is right, in that case, we'll take the user to the dashboard. Fine. So login check is done through the third party software. As you see in the bewakoof.com, the shopping website, also it is like that. When you click on Google to further progress in the shopping, it is asking the username and password, and the login check is whether the username and password is right or not. That is being done inside some other tool, right? So similar way, you can create a filter for that. And when you want to create a filter, here is what you have to do. Now the scenario is, look at the scenario. What is the scenario? We have a client, and client is entering the username and password inside index.html, right? Now we want to take user to the dashboard, right? And dashboard is usually the admin servlet. Fine, it is an admin servlet, but I'm saying that admin servlet is the dashboard. So before going to admin servlet, we need to check whether user is valid or not, and user is valid or not, that we can do with the help of filter, right? With the help of filter. So what your filter is doing, filter is doing some additional logic check, right, which is done before sending your request to the servlet. Fine, before sending your result request to the servlet. Are you getting the scenario, everyone? Concept is clear what we are trying to do, right? Here directly we are welcoming the admin. You can see here we are just giving the welcome admin message. So before that we need to do the checking whether user is valid or not. We need to check the password. So here is admin servlet, and you can look at the code. It's just a dashboard. But we have to reach here to the welcome message after checking the validity of the password or authenticity of the password. So here is my username and password box and a login button. When user clicks on the login, ideally it has to go to the admin servlet. Now, what I have done is, let us say I am adding the filter. So I'll go to the new, I'll create a filter. So you have to go to new and then go to other, select web, select the fourth option which says filter. Give next, it will ask you the name. I'm giving the name my filter, right? And I'll give next. It will ask me where you want to map my filter 1/star. You have to click on add information and click on add it and select the servlet. We want to apply it before admin servlet. So when you're clicking here, it will give you a list of all available servlets. So wherever you want to apply this, you just select that servlet and give on OK, right? When you give OK, it will give the mapping inside web.xml. So you can look at the web.xml which I have created previously with the mapping. So we have over here admin servlet, and mapping is when user request is /admin servlet. At that time it has to go to the admin servlet.java. But we added a filter and we selected the admin servlet. So that's why when the URL pattern is coming like /admin servlet, first it will go to the my filter, right? And the filter which is named as my filter, the code is written in myfilter.java. So ideally what should happen when you're writing index.html, and with the submit button, when you click on, it has to go to the action, and action will form /admin servlet, which is mapped to the admin servlet.java. This has to run. But we said in web.xml that when it is admin servlet, can you see the URL pattern? We said when it is /admin servlet, call my filter, right? So what it will do, instead of the login button click, where ideally it should go to the admin servlet, as we map the filter, first it will go to the my filter. It will check the password. If the password is equal to admin, then and then it will allow you to go to the admin servlet. So this is what we have added as an filter, authentication filter. Clear? Are you getting what is filter is? Are you getting the concept? What is what the filter is? Basically, filters are having three API: filter interface, filter chain interface, and filter config, right? Filter interface takes three methods: init, destroy, and do filter. Is for initialization, and destroy is to uh, filter related task when we want to take out the service. No more used. The filter is reaching at the end. At that time, you can write destroy. And do filter is the method where we will write the actual filtering logic. Our right now the logic is, if the password is admin, then take user to admin servlet, and if password is wrong, then with error message take it to index.html. So this is our filtering logic. Fine. So filter interface is having public void do filter method, which is used for filtering related coding, and it takes three argument: HTTP servlet request, response, and filter chain. Now filter chain is also an interface, and it is having one method whose name is same as your filter interface. The name is public void do filter. But this method takes only two arguments: HTTP request and response. What it does is it passes the control to the next filter or resource. In short, you are at index.html. When you click on the login, as per the mapping done in the web.xml, you will be redirected to myfilter.java. In myfilter.java, we have to implement it using this filter interface. So we'll write the body of all these three methods. Fine. And from the middle portion, when we are done, we have to send it to the admin servlet. So we'll write chain.doFilter. Right? It will take it. So chain.doFilter is this method, which will take us to admin servlet. So look at the code. As my filter is implemented using filter interface, we need to write all three methods as an override: public void init, filter config, throws servlet exception. Right now we are not writing anything, but as it is filter interface, we have to write even with the empty body. Similar way, destroy, public void destroy, we are overriding. No body, nothing we are writing, but still we have to write. And then do filter, which takes three argument: servlet request, response, and filter chain, throws IO exception and servlet exception. Now we have taken print writer object out. So out will be used to write the output content to the web browser of client. We are reading the value entered in the password box, which is named as password, right? And we said that if the password entered by user is admin, then chain dot do filter, right? So chain is an object of filter chain class. It takes the user request to the next resource. What is next resource? As per the web.xml, my filters next resource is /admin servlet, which is your /admin servlet.java class, right? So chain.doFilter will take you to admin servlet. Fine. And if password is not admin, we are giving the error message and using request dispatcher. We created an object rd is equal to request.get request dispatcher. We are mentioning the path index.html, and we are writing rd.include. So it will include this message also, and it will take it to the admin servlet. Fine. Is it clear? Is it clear, guys? Right? So if I run this, okay, Utsav and Pratika saying it's clear. Okay. Manan is also saying clear. That's good. So I'm writing. See, I have not used username as an authentication. I'm just saying that password should be admin, right? So when I click on login, it will go to the authentication filter, my filter, and then it will go to the welcome servlet. But you can see here, it is directly showing us admin servlet. But basically, it is coming through the filter. Okay, and if it is wrong, this we are having error message from myfilter.java. Fine. So this is about your practical number 7. authentication filter. Fine. Any doubt, any query? Anyone? Okay, Vivek is saying no. Fine. Now, I'll give you time to implement this too. But before that, we'll just look at the one functionality of Practical 4, which says create login form and perform state management using cookie. So, what is cookie? Cookie, HTTP session, and URL rewriting. We have to use all three. But today we are going to discuss just about cookies. Rest we will discuss later. It says create a login form. So it is same like your authentication filter. You need to have this too. Okay, username and password box. This is your login. It says create login and perform state management. Now, what is state management? What is state of a user? So state means the data. State means the data. Now look at what happens. Suppose you are here. You are at index.html, okay, where you have username and password you are entering, right? And you are sending user to login check servlet. So the next resource which will be invoked will be the login check, right? And what we will do in the login check, what we will do is we'll check whether user is authenticated or not. So for that, this time we will keep that that if the username is your name and if the password is your surname, then it is valid. Okay. Now, once it is done, login check is done, and if user is valid, then we will take user to welcome servlet or to the dashboard, right? This is what happens, right? This is your dashboard, or you can say welcome servlet, right? Here we will give the greeting message to user. Okay, hello, how are you, whatever you want to say. Okay, after login check, we are welcoming the user. And now over here, we'll give a logout link. So when user is clicking on the logout link, further user has to be redirected to logout servlet. Fine. This is what we are going to maintain, or we are going to code. Now, what we want is we want state management. Now, what is state? State means user's data, user's identity. Look at the discussion. We say session tracking. Session means time period through which user is connected to server. And we need session tracking because it is a way to maintain the state or data of a user. Now question comes like why we want to do the state management. The reason is all your links which you are seeing over here, arrows are the network link, communication link, and it is being communicated from user to the server using HTTP protocol. The problem with the HTTP protocol is HTTP is stateless. It means that it does not maintain any state or data of the user. If it is not maintaining any state of the user, as it is the stateless, what happens is each time when you send a request, it is being considered as a new request. Are you getting the point? Each click which you do is a new request to your server. So it means that your server do not recognize a particular user. If particular user is not recognized, each time we want to give some functionality, we need to go with the every time the new thing. For example, if you are at the Facebook or if you are at the Insta, right? What happens when you are at the Insta? What happens? Suppose you are at the Instagram and you are clicking on somewhere, right? I am here, this is my friend. If I click there, If I click there, I will be redirected to here. Again, if I click here to see what are the likings, if I click there, it is again a new request. Fine? It is a new request. And if I go there every time, if I click on a home, all these are the new requests is coming for. And if all these are the new requested, it means that server forgets each time who I am, because user identity is not maintained, user state or user data is not maintained. So what we need to do as a programmer to recognize which user is requesting, because we are at the dynamic website. Instagram, I log in my user ID, you log in your user ID. Your click should give you your data, my click should give me my data. So our identity or recognition should be there over the server, right? So this is happening with the help of session tracking. Session tracking means to maintain the state or data of a user in order to recognize the user request, because we cannot tolerate to deliver the content to the user to treat each request to be a new request. No. Once user is logged in, user's identity should be maintained, and that's why we should use some variable which will pass from page to page. For example, you are doing login, you enter your username. When you are at login check, will username will be added to cookies. It will be taken to welcome servlet, right? And when we are at welcome servlet, and if you go from home page or contact us or a new post or view the story of a friend, you did everything. In a class, you did the logout. So on each and every page, your user identity, your username, or something which is recognizing you, such as primary key of your user table, should be passed from page to page. Fine, that's called session tracking. Is it clear what is session tracking? Everybody? Session tracking is clear? Why we need it? Is it clear? Okay. So there are 4 session tracking techniques: cookies, hidden form field, URL rewriting, and HTTP session. From that, cookie is a small piece of information which we are storing in client's browser, cache memory of client's browser. What happens? First time user sends a request to server. Server will read the username and password from the user. Then server sends back you the cookie. If you recall, if you are using the web application in mobile, and when you open a website, what it asks you? What permission it asks? When you are executing any website from the mobile, what it asks? It says accept the cookies for better performance. Have you gone through it ever? When you open any website from your mobile, yeah, Utsav is saying accept the cookie. It will ask you to accept the cookies, right? So they will save few information in your system, and because by default each request is considered as new request because of HTTP statelessness. Cookie technique will add each time you are, first time when you are getting the response and you said accept the cookie. Now every time when you will click somewhere in that website, your request will go along with that cookie variable. So now you are not a new user. Your identity is being passed with each and every request. And this cookie variable will be stored in your machine, client side, right? Right? So how we can go with the cookie creation? We should use cookie class constructor. Okay. It has certain methods: set max age to decide the lifetime or the availability of cookie variable in client machine, get name, set name to read the cookie variable value and to set the variable value, get value and set value to change the value and return the value of the cookies. How to create? As I said, you can create a constructor. Cookie ck is equal to new cookie, and you will set a cookie name and give some value. You can add it to response.add cookie. This will add the cookie in browser of client machine. Once cookies are not needed, you can delete it by setting the same variable as a null value and by setting the maximum age as 0. And you can go with response.add cookie ck. Fine. You are adding the empty cookie back because it is in client machine. So we need to make sure that null user variable is being null and lifetime is being 0, and then you are adding back the empty cookie. Sometimes you can read the cookies because server has to read whether you are new user or the old one. For that, server can read the cookies from incoming request. So we are taking cookie ck square bracket means array. Get cookies will return you all the cookies as an array. So request.get cookies, and you can access it using the for loop. So we can say ck.get name and ck of I.get value. It will give you the name and value of cookies stored in the client machine. Now what we are going to do is, we'll create a login, we'll check user is valid or not. If user is valid, right, because we have to create a login form and perform state management. If user is valid, then username which is there in the text box, name text box, we will add to cookie. We'll create the cookie object. In the welcome, when we are greeting the user, we'll read the value or username from cookies. Okay. And then we'll click the logout. We'll create a logout link. And when user is clicking on logout, we'll delete the cookie. So we are going to do three things. In login check servlet, we'll create the cookie. In welcome servlet, we'll read the cookie by using the get cookies method. And in logout servlet, we will delete the cookies. Fine. So all the three blocks, get the cookies, delete the cookies, and create cookie, we are going to do in our application. Is it clear what we are going to do right now, everyone? Is it clear? Yes or no? Should I move forward? Okay, then look at the code. So I have created a index.html, taken a name in a text box txt_nm and a password box, input type is equal to password in txt_pwt is the variable. Taken a submit button, labeled it as login. So we said value equal to login. When user clicks on this submit button, user will be redirected to login check servlet. Now, in a login check servlet, I'm reading the text box values. So I wrote here local variable string name equal to request.get parameter text box name, and string password is equal to request.get parameter password box. Whatever user has entered, we are reading it and take it in a local variable. I'm saying that if user has entered the username as Taru, so I said if name dot equals Taru and password entered by user, that is pass dot equals bloch, then create the cookie. So I said create cookie ck is equal to new cookie, and I'm giving the cookie variable name uname, right? And I'm adding this name, local variable name. What is local variable name? It is my text box username. I'm adding that value in the cookie. Okay, I'm saying response dot add cookie. So this variable will be now saved inside the client machine, because whatever response I'm giving, along with that response, I'm adding that cookie. Okay, and now from here, as the user is valid, I'm going to take user to welcome servlet. And to do so, to take it from one servlet to another servlet, we have to use request dispatcher. So we are using request dispatcher. RD is equal to request.get request dispatcher. Welcome servlet, we said rd.forward. In case if username or password is wrong, we are giving the message invalid username or password, and using request dispatcher, we are sending back client request to index.html. This time we'll use include method because we want to give this error message also, right? Now, in welcome servlet, we are greeting the user from the cookie value. So when second time user goes here, we're reading the cookie value. So you see, request.get cookies will give you all the cookies. Right now we have set only one variable. So I am saying out.println hello cookie array element 0 ck dot 0 ck of 0 dot get value, which will read the first cookie, and first cookie is holding the text box name. And finally I'm giving the I'm giving the logout link to user. So I'm saying ahref click to logout. When user will click, we are taking user to logout servlet. Now, in the logout servlet, we'll delete the cookie. To delete the cookie, we have to create the cookie variable with the same name and we have to set the value null. Okay, and then we will say ck dot set max is 0, availability we are making 0, and this empty cookie we are adding back to the client's response, and we are giving the message you have successfully logged out, right? And we are giving link click to rejoin or relogin. Fine. So this 3 lines are for deleting the cookie. In welcome servlet we wrote this 2 line to get the cookies or read the cookies. Fine. And in login check we wrote this 2 lines to create the cookies. Fine. And now what is happening, you see how the state or user identity is mentioned. Text box txt nm, we entered the username. In login check it is being given inside the variable name, and then variable name is added as a cookie variable uname. So from index.html it came here, from here as a uname it is going to welcome servlet. In welcome servlet we read the cookie 0, which is your uname, and when you are clicking on logout, the same variable uname we are setting null. So from each and every page we are getting the username value, so that is user's identity. Fine. Is it clear? Any doubt, any question, anyone? Right? So if I enter username and password and I click on go, right? It says hello Taru. So this is from request.get parameter. This is login. This is welcome servlet, right? And I'm clicking on logout. So it says you have successfully logged out, which has deleted the cookie also. And here it is saying click to relogin. Fine. Is it clear? And if the username or password is wrong with error message, it will take us here, right? When you enter the username and password, correct username and correct password, it will create the cookie. Okay? And this hello is coming from the cookie. Fine? Is it clear? Fine? Everybody. Any question, any doubt? Are you getting the code? Utsav is saying clear. What about others? Only Utsav is clear. What about others? Are you clear with the login logout application? Okay, Manan is also clear. Okay, Sanjay, Kaushal, Pratik getting so many replies. Okay, fine. Vivek, Kushant. Okay. Now, so this was the technical discussion, and now what I want is we'll start implementing all this. We'll start implementation from the servlet context and config. So I'll be guiding you. I want one volunteer, the one who is having the NetBeans. I'll guide the steps and everybody will work together. I hope everyone is having NetBeans installed in the system. All of you are having the NetBeans in your system? Say yes or no. All of you are having the NetBeans? Have you installed it? Yes or no? Okay. Okay. So who is ready to volunteer? We are starting with the one. We will keep on changing the students, so everybody will learn together. Okay. Who is ready to be volunteer? Raise your hand. Raise your hand. This hand raise symbol. Who is ready to be volunteer? It's okay. If you're not knowing anything, then also it's fine. I'll be guiding you. Who wants to volunteer? The code. You will perform. Everybody will perform with you. Right? Starting from the first practical. Come on, guys. Someone has to be the volunteer. Or I should choose randomly. Be the volunteer. Take a chance. Who wants to be? Quickly. Okay, Utsav has hand raised. Okay, Utsav, share your screen. I'll stop sharing my screen. Along with Utsav, everybody will work. Okay? Everyone has to work along with Utsav. So, Utsav, share your screen. I'll guide you. All other students will follow the steps being performed by Utsav, and all of us will implement this. Okay, Utsav, I got your screen. Now, use the magnifier so that others can see it clearly. Make it 200. Fine. Now, Utsav, go to the file, new project. We'll select web application, Java web application. Everybody do this. Open your NetBeans, give it the project name, select Java web application. You can give any name, practical 3_8, or you can give Servlet context config demo so that you will have the idea at the time of exam. Servlet context config. Okay, you need to choose the server, right? Give next. Nothing is required. Give next. Yeah, I hope you are having Apache working very well. Okay, give next. Right, and this, none of this we are going to do now. This is last 3 units. So right now we don't have to do anything. We'll click on finish. This will give you the directory structure, right? Which will be like web pages, source package. You can see the project explorer. Okay. Now we will write the code in index.html. Before that, click on your web INF. You see there is no web.xml. Click on the plus sign. There is no web.xml. It will be created when we create the servlet. Okay. Now in index.html, remove div, entire line, div/div. Instead, we'll give 2 hyperlinks. Write down ahref is equal to servlet 1 equal to, no space, equal to servlet 1. Be sure when you are giving capital, when you are giving small, because if you're doing that mistake, it will not run your code. Okay, you can keep it capital, but you have to just remember that you have kept it capital. Okay, close it, greater than, enter. No, cancel. Enter in the sense that /a you have to take. Go upline, up only. Yeah, write down, click for servlet 1. In between you have to write, click for servlet 1. Now similar way, we will create a hyperlink for servlet 2 also. So you can take BR to go to the next line. Yeah, and we can create the hyperlink 2 for servlet 2. Now what you have to do is, you have to create 2 servlets. Fine. So go to the source package, default package, right click, new servlet. We'll give it a name, servlet 1. You have given everything in small. Servlet 1. Give next. Now it is asking add information. Click there and you can see down it says initialization parameter. Click on new. Click on new. Give the name, write down there, programmer. No, you have to write programmer. Name which is written there. Not there, that's a value. You're creating a variable. So variable name is programmer. Make sure that you are writing P capital, okay? याद रखो, that's it. भले लख्यो याद रखो. Value is, you can give your name. Okay, now click on finish. So this has created servlet 1 with one init parameter. Before this, go to the web.xml and check out your web.xml. Down, web.xml. Web pages, web-inf, yeah, there. Double click. Can you see this? It says servlet 1, servlet class, servlet 1, init parameter. Click on the init parameter. It says programmer Utsav. Right? So this is the initialization parameter which Utsav has given. Okay, Utsav. Now we will try to add the context parameter. Context parameter you can add anywhere outside the servlet tag. So press enter at last or in starting, no problem. Anywhere. Do it. Add context param. Everything is in small. Yeah. Enter, enter. Greater than sign. Press enter. One more enter. Write down param name. No, that's a tag. Yeah, enter. Greater than sign. Back. Greater than sign. Enter. Write down there. Organ. You can write in same line. It will increase the readability. ચાલે પણ પેલું read કરવામાં easy રહેશે. In the same line we will write. We'll write company. Variable, second variable which we are creating is company. Okay, and give the name. Down, param value. Param value. Down arrow, yeah. Marwadi info tag. Okay, now see what we are going to do. We are going to read these two variables, okay, from our Java program. So go ahead, go to your Java program, servlet 1 in source package. First, we will read servlet config. Click the plus sign of default package. Yeah, click on servlet 1. Go down and you have to write between body and slash body. Yeah, so you can remove that line. Okay, hang on for a while. I hope everybody reach here, those who are working. Are we together? Those who are working by their own? Are we together? Say yes or no in the chat. Otherwise, we can hold and you can just finish your work and be with us. Can I have that in acknowledgement? Are we working together? Say yes or no. Okay, Vivek is with us. Khushbu, okay. Kushant is a bit behind. Kushant, you want us to wait? Should I wait, Kushant?
मैम
हाँ बोलो.
मेरे को वो web.xml नहीं दिखा रही मेरे को.
Because you would have forgot to check on the checkbox. Share your screen, I'll guide you.
Okay.
Utsav, you can be there, no problem. Utsav, it's okay. It allows the two screens. It's okay. You be there. Yeah, you share your screen, Kushant.
Just give me 2 minutes.
Yeah, no problem. You can take your time. Okay, Kushant, I'm getting your screen. Now go to your NetBeans. Yeah, show me the Project Explorer. Oh, you are using, okay, same. WebINF, there's no, okay. Do one thing. Right click on Servlet 1. Right click on Servlet 1. Yeah. Delete. So go to the refactor, down, refactor, delete. That's a safely delete. Yeah, refactor. Okay, now delete that also, Servlet 2 also. Guys, it will not be, web.xml will not be created if you have not clicked on the checkbox. So create a servlet, give it a name servlet 1, give next, click that. Okay, now we will add programmer. We'll write your name. Okay, finish. Now can you check the web.xml? Is it there? Fine. Okay. Similar way, we will create servlet 2 without parameter. This time we don't want to give init parameter. Simply give servlet 2. Give next. Check on the checkbox. Give finish. Check out your web.xml. The entries for servlet 2 will also be there. Okay. Fine. Now, we have both the screen share. So any one of you can stop sharing. It's fine. Okay. Both of you stopped sharing. Okay, no, Utsav is there. Utsav, go ahead and we will type between body and slash body. We are going to type. So Utsav, what we will type is Utsav. There will be an option called pin on your screen. Can you see? Okay, I have. Fine. Not there in Google Meet. Is there an option? Yeah, pin in front of your name. Not there. Here in the list. Can you show me your name in the list? Yeah, Utsav, there, thumb kind of, yeah. There you see the first option, pin kind of, first option, first. Not there. Yeah, there. Okay, now you can go to your code. Everybody, can you see Utsav's screen on your thing? I guess yes, right? Okay, fine. Okay, now Utsav, between body and slash body, what we want to do is we want to read init parameter. So init param, which is the programmer name, can be read with the help of servlet config because it is for the configuration parameter. Okay, configuration parameter is init param variable. So we'll write down servlet config, S and C capital. Servlet config. Begu together. Config. We'll give a variable name space. You can give any variable name. You can write config or sc, whatever you want to write. One object, right? Equal to get servlet config. Okay, it's a method. So method and semicolon. Parenthesis, like counts and semicolon. Now you have to add this as an import. So go to the bulb starting line. You see there is a red bulb. Go down. No. Go down. You see the bulb, yellow bulb. Click on there. You say add import. Click on. So it will import. Click on that. So go up and you check. It is giving java x.servlet.servlet config. Line number 9. It will be added. Okay. Now we want to read. So we'll go back to code. We will use this sc to read the variable. And to read the variable, we have the method which is called getInit parameter. Okay, so we'll write sc dot getInit parameter. Go back. When you'll do sc dot, it will come automatically. Dot sc dot. Yeah, wait. Type get. Why it is not coming? It's taking a time. It's okay, you can type. Otherwise, it will come in the suggestion. Dot. Yeah, you see that. GetInit parameter. Press enter. In double quote, you have to write your variable name. What's your variable name? You give the init parameter as programmer, and you did P capital, I guess. At last semicolon. Now this entire thing we are going to give as a string value. So starting of the same line, you will do the typecasting. In the parenthesis, you'll write a string as is capital. In the parenthesis, because it is typecasting. Counts ma vachche string. String will be in between the parenthesis. Right? And this entire value will give to the local variable. So again in the starting, write down a local variable as capital string developer is equal to string developer space developer is equal to, yeah, right, whatever is the configuration parameter. Now we'll use this. So we'll write out.print out.print ln, print ln, parenthesis double quote, this page is developed by, yeah, outside the double quote we'll say plus and we'll write the variable developer. No, variable name is developer, D capital. So what these 3 lines will do, go to your web.xml. For servlet 1, it will read the programmer value. Okay, and programmer value is Utsav. So the output will be this program is developed, this page is developed by Utsav. Okay, now we'll write the context parameter reading logic. So servlet 1. Now press and enter. One more enter, little bit like give a space. Okay, we'll take servlet context object. So we'll say servlet context space, give the object name, you can write anything, sc1 or something, equal to get servlet context. Dot nahi aave, remove dot, yeah, get servlet context, S capital. Parenthesis, semicolon. Okay, we have to add import. Click on the bulb, add import. Java X dot servlet context. Yeah. What we'll write is, yeah, it has added. Now we'll take a local variable string org equal to parenthesis. We'll do the typecasting string barabar chhe, string org equal to, see the up, you have to write in a similar way. Parenthesis. Typecasting kariye chhe. Yeah, string capital, string S. Okay, string, fine. Go outside, parenthesis, and write down sc1 dot get init parameter. sc1 dot get, second option, get init parameter. This time in double quote, what we will write is company. That is our context variable, right? Double quote, semicolon. Semicolon, and next line. Semicolon, yeah. Next line we'll write out.println. This page is developed at org. ORG, the variable organization. ORG. Fine? Getting? Now we have to create servlet 2. This time we will create servlet 2 without init parameter and we'll put the same code in it. So in default package, right click, new servlet, give it a name servlet 2. Everything is in small because index.html you did it like that. Servlet 2. Give next. Click on the checkbox. And give finish. No need. We're not taking init parameter. No need. No. Give finish. Okay. Now copy the same 6 lines here. In servlet 1, we wrote the 6 line of code. The same we are going to copy. Control C and we'll paste it. Control V in the body part. Yeah, remove that line. Yeah. Okay, it will asking the import. Okay, now do clean and build and run the program. Why build has failed? Okay. Now can you see it says this page is developed by Utsav and Utsav is our init parameter. And it says this page is developed at Marwadi Infotech. So Marwadi Infotech is our context parameter for servlet 1. Now click on the servlet 2. Can you see that null? Why it is null? Anyone? Why it is null? We are getting the context parameter. You see Marwadi Infotech. That value we are getting. But init parameter is null. Why is it so? Can anyone give me the reason?
हमने वो पैरामीटर क्रिएट नहीं किया इसलिए.
Exactly. And the config is used for single servlet. So programmer object is the init parameter. So it is applicable to single servlet only. That's why it is available only in servlet 1. It is the scope is single servlet. But when you say context parameter, the scope is whole application. So in all the servlets, we are having the value Marwadi Infotech because it is the context parameter applicable to multiple servlets. Fine. Everybody clear? Utsav, show your code so others can learn it if they are behind. Only the 6th line of code everybody has to write. And don't forget to make entry in the web.xml. Let it be. Others are behind. So, Utsav, show your code. It's okay. Yeah, he has put the code in the chat. Everybody, you can take it from chat also. Fine. So that is for last practical. Now, you can stop sharing your screen, Utsav. I want another volunteer. We are going to implement the filter. Everybody done with this? Done with this? You can see the code. In both the servlet, you have to put this code. Khushant, are you done with the code?
Ma'am, I'm done with the code, but it's showing me error.
Show me. Share your screen. Other students are requested to execute this application. Okay, Khushant, I'm getting your screen. What it says. Build, see the server log. Build has failed. Okay. Do the clean and build one time. Up, hammer and brush. Yeah.
Yeah, I do it.
Show the output. Click on the output. Why it says deployment is. Other programs were working.
Yeah.
Servlet programs have you run? Other servlet programs are working, yes or no?
Yeah, before I put this by
One second.
manually.
Why you are taking two parameters in the same init param? Okay.
Sorry, ma'am. Sorry,
One
ma'am.
more thing. Where is your context param?
Which one?
Write down. Go down. And before slash web app, you can add one more tag.
Here.
Before that line. Yeah. Write down context param. Slash context. Yeah. Down. Enter. Greater than sign. Enter. Enter. One more time. Enter. Now write down param name. Greater than sign. Yeah. Write down company. C is capital. Okay, fine. Then next line you have to go param value greater than enter. Write down Marwadi Infotech. Now show me servlet one code. You have to do C small in the company because you wrote a small company. Similar way, programmer P also you have to do small because you have given P small. Both the servlets do this. Servlet 2, not there. Yeah, D and P small. So everybody make sure you are using the correct version of your variable name. Do clean and build. See the output. Yeah. Okay. Go back. Fine. Getting?
Yes.
Okay. Now, Kushan, be there as it is and we'll work on the authentication filter. Okay. Meanwhile, other students having any error? Are you able to run this? Have you run this? Yes or no? Have you run this? Okay. Now, everybody, we have still almost 20 minutes, but I want to make it fast. So we'll do one thing. Yushant, follow the step. Everyone will follow the step. I'll be giving code in the chat so that it will be a bit faster. Okay, go to the Java web application. New project. File up in the file menu. Yeah, new project. Java web application. Give next. Give it a name like authentication filter. So you can say filter auth. F and A capital filter auth. Everybody do this. No space in between. Okay, give next. Choose the server and finish. Okay, now in index.html, you have to create a login form. Okay, so how we'll create the login form is, we'll take a form action, div, remove the div. So between body and slash body, yeah, check the chat. You have to write the form action. Check the chat. Copy that block entirely. This is your index.html. Everybody, take it from chat because we have only 20 minutes. So forms action is admin servlet. We are taking username and a password and a submit button. Okay. Now what we have to do is we have to create admin servlet. Copy this name, action, admin servlet. Yeah. And go to the source package, default package, new servlet. Yeah. Control V. Next, click on the checkbox and finish. Okay. Remove the line. Yeah. And we'll write out.println welcome admin. And what you will do next is go to the source package, right click, new, filter. So you have to go to other. No, cancel it. You have to go to other. Select the web. You will have fourth option, filter. Give next. Okay. Give it name my filter. Everybody do this. If you're behind, then tell me. I'll wait. You have to go to the source package, right click, give the option, select the option filter, give name, give next. Check on the add information. Now we have to add it. Filter name and applies to. Where it applies to? Only the admin servlet. So click on add it button. We'll select the second option, servlet. Right? Everybody has to do this. Click on the edit button, and then select the servlet and give OK. Fine. So this will create the servlet, and you can, give next and finish. I mean, you can click on finish. Look at the code. What it says: public class my filter implements filter. And now we want to remove. We will remove everything in between because we will just want to go with the simple init, destroy, and do filter method. So starting from line number 23. Line number 23. Select everything, go down and delete. Select everything, shift, you can down the arrow. Tejas, I'm repeating in filter mapping. Okay. Okay, now, Kushant, do one thing. Go to the default package again, right click. Tejas, you can see here. You have to go to other. Okay, go down other because he's doing for the first time. Tejas, this is for you. Go to other, select the option filter, give next. Give next. You have to give the name. So we give name my filter. Okay. Give next. My filter 1 you give because you have already given my filter. Do 1. My filter 1. Okay. Then we'll give next and we'll choose where it applies. So for that, you have to click on add it. Add information, click on add it, and then you have to choose servlet. And it says admin servlet. Okay. Tejas, are you getting now? Okay. Cancel this. Yeah. Okay, done. Cancel this, Kushant. You don't want this. This is Kushant. Who is this? Yeah, Kushant. Now, see, this is filter is an interface. So what we will do is we will write all three lifecycle methods. Look at the chat. Init, do filter, and destroy. Take from the override. Copy this. Yeah. Okay. And few lines more. From else you need to copy. Getting? Done. Now clean and build. The code I have discussed already, so I'm not discussing. Yeah, add import for request dispatcher. Clean and build. Check on the output down, left hand side down, output window is there. Left hand side, yeah. Okay, now you can run. Click on the green button. You can enter any name, password is admin. Click on login. Yeah. Okay, go back. Back button. Give any wrong password and click. Click on login. Getting? This is the else part from request dispatcher in your code. You can go to the code of my filter. Understand the code. I hope everyone is done. Everyone is done? Yes or no? Should I move forward with the next code? Yes or no? Okay, Tejas, are you done? Okay, now I want Kushan, stop sharing your screen, and Tejas, you share your screen. We are going to go with the cookie based login logout application. Everyone, Tejas will share the screen and everyone will create an application. Java web application, file, new project. Tejas, I'm waiting for your screen share. Okay, take your time. You can say login app using cookie, right? So you can give such very project name. Check in the chat. Login app cookie. So you will have the idea what this project is about. So during your examination, you can refer your own program. Login app cookie. Okay, you're developing a login application using cookie. What we will need? How many files will we need? Yeah, Tejas has joined now. Okay, Tejas, fine. New project. Java web application. Give next. Login app cookie. L capital, A capital, C capital, cookie. Okay, give next. Choose the server. Next. Finish. Okay, now we'll design the index.html, and this time what we want in index.html is the username and password, as well as the forms action and a submit button. You can check the chat. Everybody check the chat so that it will be a bit faster. This is your index.html. What we did is we have taken a text box, txt nm, we have taken a password box, txt pwd, and a submit button login. Now we have to make the second part of this application, which is login check servlet. So copy the action, login check servlet, action name, login check servlet. Yeah. Source package, go to the default package, new servlet, control V, give next, add information, give finish. Okay, now what we are going to do is we are going to put the code for login check, and we say if the username is your name, then, and password is your password, then you are valid user, otherwise not. So here is the code in your chat. So first we will read these two things, username and password box, right? Else part has not came, so I have given the else part again. Not entire thing. No. Yeah. Okay, add import. So click on the bulbs. You need the cookie import and the request dispatcher import. javax.servlet.cookie. Okay. Now what you want? You see, you have created a welcome servlet. So click on the request dispatcher. Line number 50. We have welcome servlet 50. Copy the name. Create new servlet. Welcome servlet. Fine. And in chat, here goes the code for welcome servlet. You can create, you can read the cookies. add import for the cookie. You can type it by your own. If it is creating trouble, go to the next line. No, in the code. It is already there. Import is there. Go down. Yeah, go to the next line. Click there and yeah, enter. Write down cookie, C capital, cookie, space, CK, do the that square bracket equal to request dot, wait, yeah, enter, semicolon, remove the first line, save, yeah, now fine. I don't know why it happened, but still. Okay, now you see we have read the values cookie ck array object equal to request dot get cookies, and we have printed the first variable which was our username. Now we want logout servlet, so you can copy the name from ahref. You see down line number 43 we have logout servlet. So in default package we'll create new servlet which is our logout servlet, and in logout servlet we will delete the cookies as well. We'll give link for the relogin. Click finish. Add import. Fine. Right? So what is the scenario? Go to your index.html. Here in index.html, you will enter username and password. It will go to the login check servlet. Go to your login check servlet. In the local variable, name and password, you are reading the value. Change names dot equal. Tarun is tamaru naam lakho. Your name and your surname. Everybody will use your name and your surname. Okay. Now cookie is created in if part. Okay, using request dispatcher, if username and password are correct, you will go to the admin servlet. Otherwise, you'll go to the index.html for re-entering the password. Go to welcome servlet. Here, your name will be read from the cookie. So you are saying request.get cookies and ck0.get value. Okay. So it will read your name, which you are printing in hello plus ck0.get value. And then you are giving a logout link. So it will go to the logout servlet, right? And it will create an empty cookie. Okay, you can add one more line. Out.println body. After that you write up. Yeah, enter. Write down out.println double quote bye. It's
What,
not
ma'am?
it's not there. I'm just asking you to just a second. Write down bye by we say to the people, no, bye space outside the quote plus ck0 dot ck0 dot get value. It's no, it's an array only. Dot get value parenthesis. Yeah, before this you have to write one more thing. Write down cookie ck square bracket equal to request dot get cookies. Yeah, semicolon. Fine. Write down ck1. Here you have to write ck1 down. जो error क्या आवेश ત્યાં બરાબર છે. CK0 ત્યાં બરાબર છે. અહીં આગળ સેમ નામ થઈ ગયા ને વેરિયેબલ ના એટલે cookie CK1. You can say CK1 dot set max is 0. CK1 dot set max is age 0. Okay. Clean and build. Clean and build. Run the application. Okay, now you have to write your name and your surname as username and password, and you have made the first letters capital. Press refresh it. Yeah, continue. Can you see this? Hello Tejas, this is coming from cookies. Okay, click to log out. Bye bye Tejas, you have logged out successfully. Okay, and click on login, re-login. So it will just allow you to re-log in. Fine, right? Any doubt, any question?
Yes, ma'am.
Show the logout code because we added 2 lines, so others need to see it. You can copy this. Everybody change your logout code. You can send it. Logout Servlet. Fine, Tejas has sent logout Servlet. Put that in the code. Okay, fine. Any doubt, any query, anyone? Fine. So that's it, guys. I hope everybody is able to run. You can see the files which we have used. Login check, logout servlet, and we have welcome servlet. So that's what we did right now. Anyone from here who has to go in bus, they can leave the meeting by giving their number now. What we discussed today was practical number 4, state management using cookie for login form. Next time you can try it with HTTP session and URL rewriting by your own. Try it, otherwise I'll guide you. And we learn filter API and servlet context. Next lab, we will be discussing how we can go with the JDBC in servlet and how to have the error handling. As well, we'll finish the complete code of practical 4. That would be the discussion next time. Today's discussion, which is login application using cookie, filter application, and servlet context, but we implemented config also. So anyone having doubt in that discussion can raise the query now. I hope everyone has run the programs. We run all the 3 programs. Vivek says no, so I hope it's for no query, right? Okay, anyone else having any technical doubt? Yes or no? Should I stop here? Should I stop the discussion?
Ma'am, mine isn't good.
Sorry, Kushant, you have error?
Yeah.
Share your screen quickly. Okay, Kushant, I'm getting your screen. Cookie CK. Okay, fine. Run it. Clean and build and show me. Enter your username and password, Kushant. And what is your password? Refresh it because it is in the same server. That's why. Refresh. Just retry. Getting?
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Click to login. It will take you to index.html. Fine.
Okay.
Okay. You can stop sharing your screen. And everybody, quickly give me your attendance. Uh, I'll stop the recording now. No, not that way. It will be really hard for me to